Welcome to xGameZones, hub to latest popular games, reviews, preview and news. Hamsterdam follows the adventures of Pimm, a kung fu hamster. After watching the city of Hamsterdam fall to the crooked crime boss Marlo, it's time to battle some unfriendly furries in this simply charming but fast-paced action title. Available now on Nintendo Switch, PC, iOS, and Android. Hamsterdam is a rather unexpected title from the team at Muse Games. Generally known for the steampunk battleships that float through online co-op Guns of Icarus, this is a definite change of direction. Hamsterdam follows the adventures of Pimm, a kung fu hamster. After watching the city of Hamsterdam fall to the crooked crime boss Marlo, things couldn't seem to get any worse for this plucky protagonist. When things do, and Grandpa gets kidnapped, this cheeky blighter sets out on a quest to save Grandpa and the entire city from the clutches of Marlo and his scoundrels. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #xGameZones. Visit our site at www.xgamezones.com for more gaming review. This premise probably sounds pretty light on lore. Let's be clear, it is. Hamsterdam is, like many classic platforming titles, all about the experience. Like saving a queen bee or protecting the princess, Hamsterdam relies on great gameplay and a quirky edge to keep players hooked on its sprightly action. While Hamsterdam is available on a variety of devices, my experience with this particular title at EGX Rest convinced me that it was worth shelling out on Switch. I'll explain why a little later. Booting up the Switch's 6.2-inch screen, it is obvious the tone of this title is definitely not that of a gritty steampunk disaster. Instead, a fuzzy little fighter pops up front and center. He appears in an overworld that depicts a hyper-stylized version of the real-life Amsterdam. Filled with tall houses and winding rivers, the game scampers across regions that take in the canals, red light areas, upmarket city streets, and beyond. Each of these has its own distinct visual cues without taking away from the overall whimsical feel of this rhythm-based fighter. Whether it's the jacked-up riot rabbits or weapon-wielding weasels, the bright animation of Hamsterdam has almost as much impact as a hamster chop, and I cannot argue that it is utterly charming. This core component of Hamsterdam is where the Nintendo Switch really starts to stand out. While other platforms tap, swipe, and wiggle their way to success, the Nintendo Joy-Con controllers make extensive use of the system's motion control. Simple swipes are mapped onto horizontal flails and hamster attacks become synchronized chopping movements. The simplicity of the control scheme never makes any task any more demanding than flicking a switch, but the Joy-Cons adds a level of hilarity and uniqueness that still makes me smile after a solid week of playtime. Beyond the cute cartoon aesthetic and cool kung fu controls, Hamsterdam throws in boss encounters at the end of each major stage of the game. These get gradually harder as the game progresses and find our protagonist dodging and weaving a plethora of attacks from steroid-enhanced bunnies. This is a slightly more traditional series of challenges where players need quick reaction times and a good memory to get past the end bosses, adding just a tiny element of challenge. While Hamsterdam races along like a hamster in a ball, it can feel like you are going in one direction. While combat is engaging and there are plenty of bonuses to grab, the game doesn't deviate too far from its core premise. This means that anybody who is not tickled by the cute art style or engaged with the game mechanics will not find a hardcore challenge anywhere else. Bonus stages feel especially linear, and as the game progresses you might find that the game doesn't escalate the difficulty curve quite hard enough. This is, in itself, A minor complaint that can be just as easily leveled at other rhythm games, except they tend to have several difficulty levels. With the slightly linear nature of the game, the incentive to go back and grab all the achievements doesn't translate into a huge amount of replay value either. Despite this, it's nigh on impossible to dislike Hamsterdam. It is a cute caper with some very cool ideas that plays to its strengths. This isn't an expensive or expansive game. It is a quick distraction and a wonderful one at that. Consider a weekend break to Hamsterdam and you won't be disappointed. If you have any comments or suggestion, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #xGameZones. For more gaming review, visit our site at www.xgamezones.com. Don't forget to click the notification bell.